All right. Thank the art gods, we have made it to another Friday. Welcome, boys, girls, and everyone in between, to another SO Art Studio Friday stream. We are a studio created by artists for artists, and in our sessions, we talk about anything that crosses our mind while creating human art. I am Esso, and with me, as always, is the co creator and motivator, Miss Lily.
Hi guys, welcome back.
Welcome back. Let's see. Tonight is a artistic free for all, where we work on any piece of art that gets our creative noodle cooking. I plan on continuing on Mark's um, viewer appreciation piece. So get a little bit further on that. Do you plan on doing the same tonight?
Yeah,
All
I think
right.
we'll finish it up today.
Bueno, bueno. I know Mark's hype about it. Me and him were talking about it in chat earlier. He wants to see it.
I saw.
By the way, welcome to the stream, Mark. It's always great to have you here, man. Um, let's see here. But before we do that, let's go ahead and get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. If you are watching the stream, join us in chat. It lets YouTube and Twitch know that you are here and counted. If you are a first time watcher on Twitch, hit that follow button. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and bell so you can get a notification next time we go live. Um, in chat, you will see the links to Miss Lily's socials, both on Instagram and TikTok. You can find her at Lily Lilac Draws, all one word. And you'll find a link over to our Linkspree page where you can catch more artwork, more clips, or you can donate to the studio. Outside of that, let's go ahead and pull up the artwork. Let's see here. And we are up. I think this is the first time you're seeing the artwork, right, Mark? Maybe so. Because I don't know if you were able to get on stream last time. This is what we're working with so far. I think I'm going to be adding some shadows and special effects. I'm going to try to be adding some special effects today if I can get to it. And I'm guessing you're going to be finalizing the line art in color today?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to see if I can find a way to perfect that hand. But I did find,
Oh, the.
uh-huh, yeah, her power.
Mm-hmm.
I did find a brush that I wanted to use with it. It's like I think Clip Studio Paint calls it um a rough a rough a rough brush, or a rough inking brush, something to that
Mm.
degree. So, or like a textured pen.
Yeah, those are fun to use.
Oh, and I was doing some research last week on how to color in the line art. So I got a technique I'm going to be using today. Brand new technique.
Okay.
We have a lot of, I think, a lot of fun topics to go over today. It's gonna be fun to see if we can get to all of them. Um, let's see. Do you want to start with some entertainment news first, something that's lighthearted before we get into any tougher subjects, or do you just want to dive into the deep end?
We can start with the good stuff first, if you'd
Okay,
like. I
sounds
don't think
good.
I have
Sounds good.
any. I mean, I think the good one is that they arrested the. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
one the article I found says they arrested a guy in
Yes.
Singapore,
Mm-hmm.
um, who is the alleged leaker, the movie
Right.
leaker for the Legend of Aang movie.
Mm-hmm.
The article I found, it was on Kotaku. It's either Kotaku or Polygon.
Okay.
Those are the ones I frequent. The leaker could face up to 7 years in prison,
Mm-hmm.
and Paramount did do investigations on the leaks, and they determined the incident was not an accident or
Mm-hmm.
caused by a vulnerability in the systems, which is interesting
Mm-hmm.
because I was seeing some other stuff where the alleged hacker, quote quote, said they were like emailed it by mistake.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen that too, right? Where they
Mm-hmm.
said, "Oh, we were emailed it by mistake. I saw that Paramount wasn't going to do a movie release of it, so I
Yeah.
said, fuck it. I'm just going to leak it," right? And
Yeah.
so Paramount saying, and of course, Paramount could just be saying this just to say it, like
Mm-hmm.
that, oh, it wasn't an accident or this and that. But I find it interesting that if this is indeed true, then what's true? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
That was one of the things that kind of got me. So I was looking into the timeline of the whole thing.
Mm,
They whenever they released. So I was looking at this article from the Straits Times, which is a
mm,
Singapore news organization, right? And
okay.
they're talking about how both or the way the article made it sound. Obviously, I don't know if the article was translated or not, so maybe something was lost in translation there. So, of course,
Mm,
take this with a slight grain of salt. But they were making it seem as if there was more than one hacker that came out of Singapore itself, right? So
interesting.
apparently the first leaker, which is the somebody by the name of I'm Still Dissin, um, claimed that he was accidentally emailed the entire movie on the 12th. Right? That's the one that we've heard multiple times before, that it was accidentally emailed to him. But
Mm,
then it came out, and I believe the article I was reading was out of Variety that was saying this, was that it later came out that I'm Still Dissing actually got it from a different hacker group that calls themselves Peggle Crew. He got the movie from them, and then he was just releasing clips, but he wouldn't release the whole movie. And then
hmm,
apparently the second leaker, which is the 26-year-old guy from Singapore as well, said that he or it is said from the Singapore police that he downloaded the movie from a media server without authorization, right? Um, but the weird thing apart about that is that if anybody has ever like torrented a movie, or if you've ever watched a movie from some mirror online, right? Technically,
hmm.
you're accessing a media server unauthorized as well, right? And the Straight Times never specified what this media server the second leaker was getting his version of the movie from, right? So they're just like, oh, he downloaded it off of a media server that comes with like a maximum jail term of 7 years, or having to pay a fine of $50,000, or technically both. Um, and it seems as if this guy, whoever the 26-year-old is just kind of the fall guy, because he
Hmm.
wasn't the first leaker.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is super weird. And the fact that Paramount is claiming that there was no internal leaker from the
Hmm.
studio, and that they don't have vulnerabilities in their security system, it's like you can't have both and the movie still get leaked, right? Either you have a
Yeah, exactly.
vulnerability, yeah, you either have a
How
vulnerability in your
did it leak?
system,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. Either you have a vulnerability in your system, and or somebody within the studio leaked it. So now
On
I'm just
purpose,
like, yeah, yeah,
like you were
exactly.
saying.
Exactly. So now I'm just confused. I'm just like I'm just like, there is multiple hackers, multiple leakers, and one guy is taking the fall in Singapore. Which apparently, like, all the hackers are essentially from Singapore. It's sounding like, and one guy is taking the fall for it, and Paramount saying like, well, none of this is our fault. So something's weird. It's just weird. I just think it's weird.
Mhm. It kind I mean, their statement,
Mm-hmm.
like, is a weird one. like
Yeah.
trying to save face in some way.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Um,
Exactly.
but it's just like if you're trying to make some kind of coy comment here, then yeah, it kind of verifies your uh conspiracy theory that they may have leaked it on purpose.
I'm putting on
And
my tinfoil hat, man.
like, because yeah, you can't just say, "Oh, there's, our investigation showed that this couldn't be possible. It shouldn't have happened
Mm-hmm.
because of these things." And it's just like, well, it did. So
Mm-hmm.
something had to
I
something
think
had to be
Yeah,
broken.
I think you're absolutely right. This just sounds like Paramount trying to save face somehow. They're either trying to save face that they have a security issue, or they're trying to, or it was internally leaked and they knew about it and they just simply don't want to say that, hey, we're trying to build hype for the movie, you know? I don't know. It's
I
you
think it
can't
would
have
have
both
just been
though. Yeah.
better.
You
Yeah, I think it
definitely
would have
can't
just
have
been better
both.
for them to shut up.
Yeah.
Like, why are you saying anything other than, "Yeah, we're gonna release it in theaters." Like, we
Mhm.
heard you guys. We figured, since the movie already released, let's just release it in
Yeah.
theaters. Just say that. Just don't even say anything that makes no sense
Yeah.
and just release the movie.
Exactly.
Ugh.
The other thing that strikes me as odd, or it leaves me asking questions, is we still don't know how the movie was leaked, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things like whoever this hacker group called Peggle Crew is, they're based out of Singapore, but they're possibly multiple people. Um, and it feels weird that the original guy that was kind of interviewed, the I'm still dissing guy, it's kind of weird that his first response, or like his knee jerk response, was like, oh, somebody accidentally sent this over to me and that's how I got the movie. But then like in the leaked footage that he was releasing, which was like small clips here and there, he put a watermark on it that said the Peggle Crew. So
Mm.
it's either he's really dumb at giving an excuse in an interview situation,
Hmm.
or like he wanted to claim you know how sometimes some mastermind criminals out there will put their signature on their crime so that others will know, right? He essentially did that by putting that watermark on these clips, but
Yeah.
then came up with a really goofy excuse. I don't know, man. The whole thing's weird.
It is weird.
The whole thing's
And like,
weird.
yeah, and super unfortunate. I
Mm-hmm.
still like if we're just going to take it at face value for what it is, like these
Mm-hmm.
people did hack Paramount, um to spite them or whatever, because the movie isn't releasing in theaters.
Yeah.
It really still just hurts the people who put their blood, sweat, and tears into it. Like
That's true. Yeah.
they already got shot down with their dream of having this movie that they're creating be in
Mm-hmm.
theaters, which is like, let's face it, every creator's dream is to
Oh, for
have that,
sure. Yeah.
even if it's a fever dream, like even if you know for a fact you'll never see any of your work in a movie, like
Right.
that's just kind of like the coolest thing that could happen.
Yeah, to see your
And
work on the big screen, you know?
yeah, and for
Mm-hmm.
them to just be told like, "Oh, well, we're not doing that anymore." And then to have your work be leaked with no monetary gain from it, no like,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
it
Yeah, it's true.
it's it's all one thing after the other, and I think I don't like that people are kind of not seeing that part of the picture.
I've
And
also
oh,
been seeing like I've also been seeing the others mention, and I don't know how true this is, right? Some people are saying
mm,
that by the movie being leaked, it's really hurting the executives at Paramount more so than the creators, only because the creators. How was it explained to me? It was said that the creators and studio itself was created and contracted for a certain amount of IPs to come out, right? The Legend of Aang being one of them, which was their one theatrical hit, and then the other, what was the other cartoon called? The new Avatar cartoon that they were going to be releasing.
Um,
I can't
oh,
remember the name of it right now, but there's another Avatar series that's in development and close to being finished.
yeah.
And that those two properties were already contracted for, already paid for by the studio, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, no matter what, we're getting a new Avatar series that's going to be streamed, and Paramount has already yanked The Legend of Aang out of theaters, right? And so people are like,
Mm-hmm.
well, if you know, by pirating this film, you're really hurting the executives because it's their pocketbooks that get hit and not really the creators because they're already on contract. That, whenever I was given that theory, it kind of felt a little bit wrong because you still want to be able to support the creators themselves as well as support
Mm-hmm.
any future projects that they could possibly have, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's also there's also a part of me that's like, yeah, I think. Oh, Mark has it in chat. It's called Avatar Seven Havens. There we go.
Yeah, I was
That's
about to
right.
say Seven Sages, but I was like,
Mm-hmm.
that's not right. That's something else.
Something else. But yeah, so there's a part of me that's like, yeah, you know, fuck these executives. Like, they're the ones that are screwing over the studio, are they not? But then it makes me think,
Mhm.
well, the studio technically has, or Paramount has contractual obligations to Avatar Studio to get these particular IPs out, right? Avatar Seven Havens is going to be coming out on streaming one way or the other. It's too far into development at this point. It's coming out and it's going to be hitting stream. And whether or not people are watching that series, I think would probably be maybe a little bit more important than catching the legend of Aang. But the part that really sucks is that, like you said, the creatives were hoping and seeing their work on the big screen, and the
Mhm.
fact that Paramount yanked it, you know, it's just kind of like, come on.
Mhm.
That's horseshit. That's not cool. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, there's still a part of me that understands the the desire to stick it to the executives on making a really bad decision, but then there's the creative side of me that's just like, yeah, but these people want to see their work. Um, they want to see their work being successful. They want to see it have
Mhm.
success. But how much success are they going to see on the streaming service as opposed to if it had hit theaters? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if it was in theaters, that would have been an immediate indicator. Like, people going to go see it, they would be able to see it on the big screen. You know, it could be a whole thing. But if it's on stream, it's just, I don't know. I hate that it neuters the movie the way that it does. Like, the whole
It definitely
situation feels
does.
like it neuters it.
Yeah. I think like I agree. I can sympathize with people who want to, stick it to the man.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point of like punk alt culture, and
Right.
what am I if not a punk alt culture type person who
Mm-hmm.
who has way too many morals. So I can't really stick it to the man, you know. I but that's to say, like, you know, the artists themselves wanted it realized,
Mm-hmm.
even if it were in streaming form. Like, they wanted people to see it that way. Obviously, the movie was in theaters was the penultimate way for them
Yeah.
to
Yeah. I think that
want
was their
people to
end
have
goal.
seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But they wanted, since that got shut down, they wanted people to see it, when it came out legally.
Mm-hmm.
It's streaming form, right? And
Mm-hmm.
see people like get their minds blown the same way they're doing right now, but to see it be done in this way, it
Kind of takes the
sucks.
wind out of the sails.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's different if obviously seeing how they're reacting to it, you gotta have some sympathy for them. It's
Mm-hmm.
different for people who are artists who have advocated for boycotting the man and like pirating stuff, like Dana Terrace. She's
Mm-hmm.
the creator of the, excuse me, the Owl House series that's on Disney,
Yeah. Yeah.
and she is currently making an indie project right now, which is looking really cool. The Knights of Guinevere. I don't know if you've seen it. You
Hmm.
should. It looks amazing. Um, but she went on Twitter after Disney announced that they're gonna be implementing AI into the app and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She was just like, "Yeah, no, fuck Disney. You guys can pirate my property all you want. Like, I don't care." Which,
Yeah.
yeah, if the parent uh
If the
creator,
creator says so, you
yeah,
know.
says so, do it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
go do it, man. She's like, "You guys can pirate all you want. Fuck
Yeah.
Disney," you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this happened and the artists are advocating, and even previous actors who've worked on the Avatar series are saying, "Hey, no, like you guys go show your support when it actually comes out, please, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You have to do your due diligence in that way. Like
Yeah.
as true
Yeah.
fans. If you're a true fan, you're going to do it. Like go do the right thing
Right.
and support the creators and the people who love this property, okay?
It's true. It's true. It reminds me, did you see recently um uh Kay Urana was on Twitter talking about the uh global audience digesting her manga through free readers, and that she
Mm.
was like, you know, please buy the actual mangas because buy it through through traditional channels, like either buying the manga physically or buying it through some online service. She goes, because if you're pirating, it's actually hurting her. And that was another creator that came out that was like, please buy my thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the reason why not even kind of, that is the full reason why I went with purchasing like the subscriptions like
Mm-hmm.
Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
And that's the main reason why I went with Crunchyroll, because they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna try our best to help support the production studios who make all these great animes." And I think at one point they were even claiming like that they would also help that in turn would help the animators who are in those production
Yeah,
companies,
I
right?
remember them mentioning
Um,
something like that.
yeah, I did some research to see if that was actually true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the money does go to the production companies, but
Mm-hmm.
it's really up to the Japanese government and
Oh no.
the way that they run the government,
Yeah.
the workforce and stuff like that, for them to pay their animators
That
correctly,
doesn't bode
which
well.
they're not. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
not. Like
exactly.
Crunchyroll can't control that,
Damn it. That
which,
sucks.
that sucks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think they're also trying to implement manga reading on their app too, which
Yeah,
is
yeah, I've
great.
heard about that.
Yeah, so I think I was thinking of redoing my subscription, but then they had that massive data leak recently, so I'm just like, maybe,
You may
maybe
have to get a burner
not
card.
gonna do it." Yeah, or keep an eye out on what they're doing. It's you pick and choose your battles
Mm-hmm.
is what I
Mm-hmm.
like. But like I said last stream, if you're gonna
Yeah.
boycott something or support something, do it within your means.
Mm-hmm.
If you can afford it, go ahead, pick and choose your battles.
Yeah.
Like money talks.
True.
So,
True. Very true. Yep. Attention and money. Well, attention is money in this economy, right? So,
mhm,
yeah,
sure
yeah.
is.
But yeah, I think Paramount's being very weird about their excuses on the whole thing, and I hope at some point the truth does come out. But ultimately, I just hope it garners enough attention and word of mouth to where it just forces them to release it in theaters and stop being assholes about this.
That would be so cool. Like,
Yeah,
can we just stop? Just stop already.
right.
Make your
Just
bag. You're gonna make your money back, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. I don't know. It's weird, right? Because I think, just as a side thought, I wonder if the other reason why they're so gun shy about releasing this, because technically this is a adult animation, and I don't know of any. There hasn't been too many adult animations to come out of the U.S. in, I mean, almost ever. I think the last adult animation that ever came out of the U.S. was like what, Sausage Party? Can you think of any other adult
Yeah.
animation? Maybe Who Killed Roger Rabbit was kind of an adult live action slash animation, but it's not like Japan where they make these anime IP movies where it's like geared towards an older audience. I mean, America is so weird about animation
They're
and
so weird about animation, and
so
that's
weird,
so
man.
weird to
I
say
hate that. Yeah.
because Demon Slayer killed it in the
Mm-hmm.
box office,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's a fully animated anime movie
Mm-hmm.
that is, yes, it is weirdly marketed towards children. I don't
Sure.
think
Yeah.
kids should be
Yeah, I
watching
don't
it
think
because
I,
of
I
all
would
the
never show
gore,
Demon
but
Slayer to a kid.
it's not a crazy amount of gore, but I remember watching the first episode and being like, "Little kids watch this? Like,
I don't think
this
so.
is kinda crazy." Um,
maybe teenagers. Maybe.
but, like, y I know that SpongeBob didn't do well, and it
Mm-hmm.
didn't do well because it sucked ass, but
Yeah.
for them to, like, kind of just not pay attention to how well Demon Slayer made it
Mm-hmm.
and how well Chainsaw Man made it, like, you guys are really not they really don't know what that the fans exist.
They don't
Like,
know
they
ball,
do not
man.
know.
Yeah.
They do not know how
they
rabid Avatar fans are,
Well, I
like,
think I think the problem is that a lot of production companies still see animation as a kid medium rather than an adult one. And
which
I
is
think,
crazy.
yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I think it, obviously now that anime is becoming more mainstream and we're starting to see more anime movies hitting American shores, if enough people go to watch that, maybe that might signal these production companies like, hey, adults like animation too. But every time you have like a Slayer release or a Chainsaw Man, they're very specialized releases. It's not like you can find them at every single AMC or it's really rare to see a production or a mass release of these movies, and I think that's a crime, right? Like you should really it and of course there's a whole business behind it, like whether or not the production company is willing to release wide release in America could be a whole thing too. But even whenever I went to go see Dragon Ball Superheroes, like we had to find a special showing of that movie. It wasn't like we could
Mhm,
just go to any movie theater to watch it, and I think that sucks. Like we need I don't know if that's something that needs to be held or fixed on the Japanese side of releasing a movie, or if it's something on the American side and movie theaters just aren't willing to take on what they view as a risk. I don't know. But that needs
mhm.
to be fixed because I think if more anime movies become popular, then you would see um, the American production companies tackling it that much more instead of just giving us. I swear, the only ever time we get a adult or any animation here in the United States is always aimed towards kids.
Mhm.
Not to say that that doesn't mean they're not good. It just means that I would like to see more adult themes and more exploration in animation. I mean, crap,
Yeah.
man. But yeah, well, but speaking of or American production animations, did you see the reanimated songs in I believe 3 Disney movies, where they turned these songs into American Sign Language.
Yeah, I did. I saw um the production of it,
Or
you know,
yeah, yeah, I saw the
them
behind the
releasing
scenes
the
of it.
videos,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which yeah, when I watched it, I also watched a video where someone was explaining why they did that
Mm-hmm.
was to, well, one, because yeah, seeing behind the scenes stuff is really cool. But a lot of people who were questioning if it was AI when it
Oh
first
yeah.
released.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. And
That's fair.
and why does it look like that?
Mm-hmm.
Because why do you think it might look like AI? Because AI steals from other artists.
Mm-hmm.
They and what is the biggest art company out there? Or
Disney.
artistic company out there? Disney. That's why it looks like that, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why we all questioned it when it first came out, which is why
Exactly.
I questioned it when it first came out. I was like, "This looks really cool, but hmm."
Yeah,
And
I question it too because I wasn't too. I a it's not like they announced this beforehand, right?
they didn't. Yeah.
And B, like, when have we ever seen American Sign Language included into any Disney movie? So this was like a cool little surprise.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But I
uh,
did watch
mm-hmm.
it. It was
Yeah.
really cool. I'm, I do wish that they did announce it in some way other
Mm-hmm.
than it being like that kind of small and then them doing the behind the scenes things for the obvious reason of proving that they actually made it
Did the
and
work.
not AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was really cool. I liked it.
Yeah, I saw Mark says he caught the Moana clip. I believe the first clip that I saw was the Encanto clip. But
Yeah.
it was really cool. It's really cool. I think it was really cool of Disney to do this. It's just another aspect of inclusion, and I'm all here. I'm all for it, man.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. The other thing in entertainment news that I've seen recently was the teaser trailer to Clayface. Did you see that by any chance?
I didn't get a chance to watch the trailer, but I
Mm-hmm.
saw the one of the promo shots for it, and it
Yeah.
is very gross.
Yeah.
Like, I so one of the things it's not like I can't do it, but I
Mm-hmm.
really shirk away from it. Like, I start cringing really hard because it feels like, I have too much empathy, so I kind of start feeling what it looks like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is body horror. So when I
Yeah.
saw the promo clip for it, I was like,
Body horror is
"Oh,
tough.
no. This is not good." Like, it is
Like I usually shy away from like um um gore porn, right? Like
Mm,
I don't like watching movies like Saw or um
yeah, I
what's
can't.
another, or Hostel or something to that degree, because I don't
Mhm,
like torture for the sake of torture. It's never been my bag.
mhm,
Um, Body horror is a little bit more interesting to me because I look at it more on the artistic side of it, and how the visual artists kind of like are gonna translate, you know, especially a Batman villain like Clayface, right? Technically a villain that can mold into whatever he wants. It kind of reminds me of The Thing from the 80s, where you had this alien that can morph into whatever it needed to infiltrate a group of humans, you know?
mhm.
And whenever I saw the teaser trailer, I thought it was kind of cool that they really did lean into the horror aspect of it. I think this is going to be like the first horror film that DC has ever released. So this is going to be interesting, especially for such a Clayface is such a how do I put it? It's kind of like Clayface isn't as popular as a lot of other Batman villains. You know, like your
Mm-hmm.
Jokers and your Catwomans and your Penguins, right? Like
Harley
Clayface.
Quinn.
Yeah, exactly. Clayface is definitely like a B tier villain. But if they do this
Hmm.
right, I mean, it could be a fun watch, and a fun addition to the franchise. Because apparently, the other thing is that what's his name, James Gunn, the executive producer, he said that this is one of the first DC movies that takes place before Superman, in the timeline of the DCU universe that he's creating, right? So
Hmm.
that I thought that was interesting too, because obviously we still don't have like a DCU Batman yet outside of the Batman, but the Batman is like its own side thing. So yeah, I wonder how it's gonna fit into what James Gunn is gonna present as like the first official DCU Batman. I'm excited. I'm excited. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. I probably will try to watch it, but yeah, horror movies. It's tough. It's tough with me in horror movies because I also don't like jump scare type movies either. So
Yeah, I hope it's not that. I didn't know it was a movie. I thought it was a series
no, this is
that
gonna
they were
be
coming out
a
with.
theatrical release.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll watch it because like I have a I don't know, I kind of like horror films, but
Mm-hmm.
like I watched it's not really a horror film, it's more like just one of those silly ones. What
Mm-hmm.
was it? Final Destination.
Oh yeah,
Uh
yeah,
what is
yeah.
that
I
even
watched those.
called?
Those are
What series
I
of what what genre of
thrillers.
movies?
I mean, I would
Final
consider them
Destination.
thriller type movies, horror thriller,
Yeah, it's horror, supernatural horror, survival horror, splatter
survival horror.
film,
Okay,
teens, teen slasher.
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of got like a I mean, when you think about it, it is kind of corny movie,
Oh yeah, for
cheesy
sure,
type premise.
for sure. Yeah.
Horror movies are, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still horrifying to have, like Scream,
The
to have this
accidents.
guy in a
Yeah.
suit, guy in a Scream Halloween costume chasing you
Mm-hmm.
around. Yeah, at face value, that's kind of, that's kind of silly, funny, haha, but
Oh
he's
yeah.
actually trying to kill you. That's not funny. But
Hey man,
yeah, like,
it's because of Final Destination that I will not drive behind a truck carrying logs. I just won't do
I
it.
don't think that's the reason why everyone doesn't do that. But
Right? It freaks
but
me
yeah,
out
like
to this day.
I like, that kind of counts in
Mm-hmm.
body horror for me because,
Yeah, yeah.
they die in such gory ways and it's
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, whenever the death scenes happen, I'll be watching through my fingers and like screaming the whole
Yeah,
time like, "Oh
yeah.
God. Oh God."
I end up it's weird. It's like whenever I watch horror movies, I gotta lower the volume because for some reason it's the sound that will scare me more so than the visuals. Because the visuals for
Mm,
me, I always look at visuals, especially with movies on. I always look at it as an artist, right? Like how did they do that, or that's like a really cool effect. But then you
yeah,
couple it with the sound, and it becomes something completely different. You know?
it's too much. Yeah, it
Exactly.
sounds too real, you know?
Yeah, sound
Like
designers have gotten amazing.
yeah, which like you just said, kudos to the sound designers for managing to make the
The
gore
most
sound so
horrific
visceral.
sounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. I totally
Wait.
wanted to
Hey,
know
good
what
job, guys. I hate it.
yeah, I totally wanted to know what the sound of my head crushing in between
Yeah.
2 pressure plates of a trash, uh,
A
compositor
trash
sounds like.
compactor. I've always
Compressor, yeah,
yeah,
or
I've
whatever.
always wanted to know how it sounded like to hear bones snapping underneath the
Yeah.
machine.
Ugh.
Oh, ugh, God. Let's see here. On a personal note, this past week I ended up learning that Andy Park, who was a director of visual development at the MCU, was laid off. And I say on a personal note because I was a gigantic fan of this artist. He was one of the artists that that had, or one of the artists that defined the look of the MCU up
Oh
until
yeah, I
recently.
remember
Yeah,
reading about that.
I was a huge fan of his since he used to work at Top Cow Comics drawing Tomb Raider. It was the first time I was introduced to him, and I followed his career all throughout until he became like a character designer for the MCU, and I thought that was so cool that a comic artist can make that jump. Yeah, and he was another one of the most recent layoffs that has come from Disney's downsizing, I guess we should call it.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah, I hate that Disney's doing this. Like it's such a, I don't know. Like
It's weird.
I get that it's a stupid business decision, but I mean, it's so disappointing to see that they target the creatives first. You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure there's a couple of executives you can get rid of rid of first, and it probably wouldn't change shit. But why do you got to do it to creatives that defined your most successful franchise? I don't know. It doesn't make a lick of sense to me, and it's just one of those things that I came across it early in the week, and I was just like, fuck, man. Like I hope they continue to contract him for future projects, but it just feels like not necessarily the end of an era, but it feels unnecessary and definitely a downer.
Mhm.
um,
That's
mm-hmm.
that's so terrible. 'Cause it's like, yeah, he made the face of the MCU,
Yeah,
like what it looks
yeah,
like now,
mm-hmm.
and to be rewarded in in this sort of
Yeah.
fashion. Like, "Hey, thanks for everything. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
we're letting you go." I don't
See
know if
ya.
you know this, Disney, but all of your properties have to be looked at. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're getting rid of the person that made it look the way it does,
Mm-hmm.
you're you're shooting yourself in the foot. Like, what do you
Definitely. Definitely. It's
like,
like,
how else would you chalk it up to other than them using AI?
yeah.
Like,
I credit these artists as being like, the people that brought faithful superhero costumes to the big screen,
mm,
because I grew up in an era where if we got a superhero movie, that the costume was like, 60% faithful to the source material. But probably the biggest example in my head is the original X-Men trilogy, right? Where it's like none of those costumes were faithful to the source material. And the MCU was the first one to like really get it right. You know what I mean? And it was
mm,
artists like Andy Park who did that. And because he grew up drawing comics, and now they're turning him into a contract worker for the sake of saving money, and it's just like, man, sometimes it's okay to spend extra cash. Especially,
like you need any more of it.
exactly. And especially after they bragged during CinemaCon like how much money they made through the MCU franchise. Like I think they claim like the MCU has made like $17 billion for them. It's like, guys, like, fuck y'all. Fuck you, man, Disney. What the hell?
Yeah.
$17 billion, and you let go 1,000 plus employees like this from like pivotal roles in these franchises. Like what the hell? Like it's such
Mhm.
it's such a it's such a slap to the face for any creative out there, much less the people that actually experienced it. I was really bummed out whenever I learned that.
Mhm.
But the one thing that did give me some hope was that if any we all know what InfoWars is, right? with Alex Jones. I think we've made jokes at his expense a couple of times of them turning the frogs gay.
Yeah.
Well, recently, The Onion, if anybody is familiar with The Onion, their satirical news site, has taken over InfoWars. They've taken over the company and branding, and they recently released a redesigned logo. And what they did was they replaced the O in InfoWars with their iconic onion, and they made the logo rainbow colored, as a kind of a gigantic fuck you to Alex Jones.
Nice.
And I, for one, that brought a smile to my face. I also thought that it was funny that a fan released a video of like um it was a video of the InfoWars setting. If you've ever seen like a Alex Jones video, he's always like sitting at a desk and he's got a microphone and he's always yelling into the microphone. So they replaced Alex Jones with a gay frog, a man in a gay frog costume.
Yeah.
It was the funniest damn thing ever. I think it was just fan made, and unfortunately, it was an AI video. But
Dang.
yeah, but it was still pretty funny, and I hope the Onion really does a number to that franchise because I mean, fuck, Infowars deserves it. But outside of that, do you want to start on your um, first topic?
Sure, the
Whichever one you
Mr.
want.
Beast one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we can
Let's
tackle
talk
that one.
about that one.
All right.
How well do you know Mr. Beast?
I've never watched any of his stuff, but I know of him through osmosis.
Okay.
I think anybody who's ever been on YouTube has seen one of his thumbnails flash across your for you page.
Mhm.
But I've never seen any of his videos. I've only heard of the things that he's done in the past.
Yeah, so it started I think around 2023. I
Mhm.
don't remember, but I remember like I'm on YouTube. I when I started college, I started watching PewDiePie and
Mhm.
stuff like that, you
Yeah.
know, and really just really got into watching YouTube videos.
Mhm.
Um I didn't watch any of Mr. Beast's videos, but me being on YouTube, I watch videos about dramas on like
Yeah.
the drama that's going on
Yeah.
around YouTube
Online
or even
creators.
TikTok or yeah, just any online space. There's
Yeah.
going to be a YouTube video that covers this is the drama that happened this
Mhm.
week, you
Oh
know.
yeah. Yeah.
And I remember around 2023, I think that's when his first season of his game show came out. I don't know
Mhm.
if you know, but he made a game show that released with Amazon. Um,
Mhm.
it kind of the premise is it's basically Squid Games
Mhm.
without the dying.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it without the dying. So that's the
They're
premise.
contractually to keep everybody alive for the most part.
Yeah. And you know, everyone is able to win money
Mhm.
by doing this, that, the other, you know. Um, but when the first season came out, like there were so many allegations against Mr. Beast and his company, mainly for being like super sexist.
Mhm.
Um, they mistreated, uh, they didn't mistreat, I mean, they mistreated, I think, the whole entire contestant base, but
Yeah.
mainly, but mainly they mis mistreated the female player base.
Mhm.
Um, it was like during the first week, you know, some contestants, like all of the contestants weren't allowed to change their underwear and the
So
clothes that they
weird.
were wearing basically.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but women, let me give a little class for you. Women experience just, and it can be in any week of the month,
Mm-hmm.
any time of the, it's not, and also, I don't know if there's science that backs the whole, oh, if a bunch of women
Oh, the
start
sync up.
grouping together,
Yeah.
I don't know the science behind that, all right? But, well,
I've
that's to
never
say,
experienced it, but
that's to say, some of the women contestants were on their periods during the
mm-hmm.
time of the first season, during
Yeah.
that week. And that being said, with them not allowing the contestants to change their underwear and change their clothes,
That's
they
so.
wouldn't even let the female contestants change their underwear and their sanitary products,
Oh, that's messed up, man.
which
Come
I
on.
don't know. Here's a masterclass part 2 of women hygiene. You have to change that shit like sometimes every 2 hours
What?
because of how fucking crazy it is.
Seriously.
Okay?
Yeah.
You're uh, you're lucky, my dude, that you don't have to fucking
Oh,
experience this
man.
sort of shit,
Oh,
okay? But
yeah.
I can't imagine.
Dude.
Oh, when I read that, I was like, I can't even imagine not being able to change
Like,
my
what the fuck were
my
they supposed to be
thing
doing the entire
for
time?
a whole
Especially
day.
on a
Like,
heavy day, bro? That's. Anybody who's ever grown from a guy's perspective, obviously, but anybody who's ever grown up with a mom or a sister or has a or lives with their girlfriend and or wife, you've experienced periods and heavy days, and you understand that this is not something that a woman could just ignore for a little while. Like this is
I
something
wish we
that has to
could.
be addressed right away.
I wish we
Come
could, my
on,
dude.
man. Jesus
Um,
Christ.
yeah, so that was coming out, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously they tried to cover it up or even just not acknowledge it, which was crazy because it's
Ugh.
like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Um, anyways, that kind of stems from that because I remember from those allegations, and a few other women have come out
Mm-hmm.
like saying how they were mistreated, like a few other actual influencers
Yeah.
who are on the YouTube space. They've made videos. And so now there's this woman who worked for Mr. Beast's company who's now
Mm-hmm.
suing. I think it did start in 2023 when she was coming out with the allegations, but now I think
Mm-hmm.
she's formally suing the company.
Sure. I mean, it
Um,
takes a while for a court case to get its feet. It's not like something like, from personal
it comes
experience.
out.
Yeah, you can't sue somebody within a couple of weeks. Like it takes some time.
Hmm. And money, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
and money for sure.
Dang. But so yeah, so I'm guessing it took that time to do that sort of thing. So now
Mm-hmm.
she's formally suing, as of 2 days ago, formally suing Mr. Beast's company for alleged sexual harassment and verbal abuse. And I was
Mm.
reading the article, and apparently one of her claims is that she was fired after her maternity leave,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of an unfortunate thing that doesn't only happen at allegedly at
Yeah.
Mr. Beast's company, but it
Mm-hmm.
happens at a lot of other American companies
Oh,
as
for
well.
sure. For sure.
Like I've seen it before, and it's really messed up
Yeah,
because
we don't have maternal protections here in this country, and it's messed up because in other first developed nations they do, right? Like women get maternal leave, but not here. So it's like if a company sees you as a liability because you're going off to have a kid, they can punish you for it, and it's messed up.
Eh, I could go on, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to. Anyways, so what else? So it also stems from her trying to make formal complaints
hmm
about like some of the stuff that was happening to her to HR at the company, but there is no HR department. Um,
Which for a company as big as Mr. Beast's, you would figure they would have some sort of HR. Jesus
well, they
Christ.
don't
Oh man.
because even to protect the company itself, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that
exactly.
is what HR is for, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
They will always protect the company over you.
First, for
Um,
sure.
yeah. And so when she was trying to find a way to complain, she was just told to go about dealing with those issues that she was having by reading this handbook that they were given that's
Uh-huh.
titled How to Succeed in Mr. Beast Productions.
Uh,
Not this is the company handbook.
that
It's
pisses me off
titled
so much.
yeah. And apparently she found in the company handbook it stated that quote, it's okay for boys to be childish, unquote,
Come on,
and
man.
quote, no does not mean no, unquote.
Mm.
And I kind of believe it, like that exists just because of other allegations that have come out against Mr. Beast and
Mm-hmm.
how they treat, namely the women that come across this company, whether it be through them being a contestant or them being like working with them directly.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so many claims, so I don't see, and they're such a child-coded company, like, the way that they operate is so childish that
Yeah,
I
they
can fully believe that their handbook does say some shit like
mm-hmm.
that.
I mean they sell their own he sells his own kids version of Lunchables. So yeah, like there's a target audience for Mr. Beast.
Which is really, mm,
mm-hmm.
something, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and, like, she also claimed that then CEO, James Warren, had claimed that Mr. Beast so she never directly worked with Mr. Beast at her
Mm-hmm.
time there. But she asked the CEO, "Hey, am I ever gonna be able to meet um Mr. Donaldson?" I forgot
Mm-hmm.
his first name, but he was just like, "Oh no, you wouldn't be able to work with him because you're just too sexy." And the article I
The
was
hell does
reading,
that mean?
yeah. Well, if you read the
mm-hmm.
article goes into actual quotes that he said that Jimmy would do this and this if you ever showed like if he ever showed up and like met you in person. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to repeat them because they're really gross.
Oh
But
yeah. Yeah.
it's just like, bro, what are you people? Like, do
Yeah.
you first of all, do you not care about another person enough to think that maybe that's a wrong thing to say to them in front of their
Mm-hmm.
face? And then two, even if you do have those thoughts, would it not be a bad thing to say those things out loud because that might jeopardize your company? Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if it ever got out, which it is coming out, so it's
Ah,
just like
Jesus, man.
allegedly,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like I said, I am more inclined to believe the women because
Mm-hmm.
every time we've ever shot down a woman who's made these claims, they were true.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Well,
of course there are outliers, but,
yeah.
you know.
Well, the thing is, the reason I'm more inclined to believe the claims is because, so I first heard about this story through Philip DeFranco, right? He does a
Oh,
YouTube
okay.
news channel. And
Yeah, I
so,
love him.
yeah, I watch him all the time. He was talking about this incident. And from past reports, this is not the first time Mr. Beast has found himself on the wrong end of a employee's anger because of something he's
Mm.
done, right? So I remember maybe I don't know, my timeline's a little skewed, but I'm thinking like 2 years ago, a male employee came out because he felt as if Mr. Beast tortured him and was looking for
Yeah,
damages. You remember that?
I remember that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
He made a
And
video and everything.
exactly. Yeah, he made a whole like 3-part video about it. And at the time it was like, okay, like I think he used to be a friend of Mr. Beast and used to do the stunts with him and all that, and that Mr. Beast would have this flippant attitude towards any kind of harm that would happen. And I think Mr. Beast settled with him on a lawsuit that he was bringing to him. So
Mhm.
the idea that this person's claim of Mr. Beast being flippant with his employees, um, and B, him acting inappropriate or reacting inappropriately towards an employee doesn't surprise me, right? So yeah, these claims hold water in my head.
Mm.
The things that Philip DeFranco revealed about what Mr. Beast said would happen if he was around a sexy woman, like you said, super freaking weird. Uh,
Gross.
Something that you wouldn't expect a grown man to have issues with. And I hate that they rely on the excuse of, oh, well, he's socially awkward. Like, no, bro. Like, you could be, I can be socially awkward, but I'm not going to sit there and run to a bathroom the moment I'm around a hot woman just to relieve myself. You know what I mean?
That's really
Yeah,
so.
it's
Yeah. So you
fucking
did read
gross.
it. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
like
I didn't read
I.
it. This is something that I heard through the Philip DeFranco
Okay,
show. Yeah.
he read it out loud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
that's really gross
That's
to.
gross, man.
What
It's
the fuck is wrong
you're
with
you're a
you?
grown ass man, and you can't. Yeah, I don't care how socially awkward you are, as okay, okay. I gotta address the men on this one. I don't care how fucking socially awkward you are as a man. At a certain age, you should know how to interact with the opposite sex, even if you find them attractive. Okay, this idea that you have to run off to relieve yourself just because you can't handle the social interaction, there's something wrong with you if that's the case. Like there's something mentally wrong with you.
I think I think people like if we're gonna put it with men or even
Mhm.
just women, right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna have that sort of problem, like
Yeah.
think about the problem and
Mhm.
then put like your gender in it.
Yeah.
Or, you know, what I, if I'm a man
Mhm.
and I'm with another man,
Mhm.
would it be okay for me to go like to the bathroom and you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just apply that to,
It's so
the
weird, man.
just think
Such
of it
a
that way and then be
Mhm.
like, yeah, I wouldn't do that. So maybe I shouldn't do that or even
Yeah.
think of doing that
Yeah.
with this person I am attracted to. You know? I don't
Right.
know. I
It's
know.
just
Does that make sense?
I don't know. I don't know if it's because, Mr. Beast has been famous for a long time. He's also been
Fortunately.
yeah, he's also been like he was in that same viewer race on YouTube with PewDiePie and what was that Indian company star something for a while.
Oh, I
You
can't
remember that?
remember,
Yeah, you
but
remember that
yeah,
viewer race that
I
they were
can't
having?
remember their name,
Yeah, I
but I
forgot
do
what their name
remember the
was.
race because y- I'm a PewDiePie supporter,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah,
you were
definitely know
you
who
were
they are.
rooting for PewDiePie at the time.
I love him.
And
I'm so
so
happy for him, by the way. Just
yeah, that he
throw that in there.
won at the end.
I mean, I'm just happy that he's winning in life too. Like
Oh yeah, dude, his
he
adventures in
has
Japan is pretty awesome to
yeah,
watch.
and he has such a happy life with his wife and his
Mhm.
kid, and he's just, he's not having to stream anymore.
Yeah.
He's just made it
Except if he
big.
wants to.
Yeah, and he can, and by the way, he taught himself how to draw,
Yeah, I
guys,
saw
in
that.
30 days.
Yeah, in 30
He
days he was able to. It was like his big fuck you to AI artists.
was
I've
it? I don't know if he did it in that vein, but like you can definitely apply it to that
yeah.
argument. If someone who didn't, knew nothing about how to draw,
Mhm.
learned how to draw in 30 days,
Yep.
what's stopping you? Like,
Exactly. Yeah. Like I let's see, the last time I saw him, he was in the cyclothon with Connor, Sea Dog
Mhm.
VA. He does that cyclothon through Japan damn near every year. I think this is like the third or fourth year he's done it for the for oh crap, I forgot what's the name, like autoimmune deficiency fund
Mm,
that Iron Mouse also donates to because she has the same autoimmune deficiency.
that's
Um,
cool that
yeah,
they
yeah.
not that she has it, but that they support it.
Oh, dude, they do these this type of fundraiser almost every year. It's well,
Mm-hmm.
for the past 3 or 4 years now. But yeah, PewDiePie comes out in cycles with them for a certain stretch. I think like they usually do like 50 kilometers, 50, 80 to
Mm-hmm.
50 kilometers, I believe. And yeah, I always love catching it because it's just a fun time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, Mr. Beast has been just to get back on track. Mr. Beast has it feels like he's been famous for too long. Way made way too much money too early. And then he's done some notable things in the past with the money, right? Like some of the things that I can think of is like he did some whales in a poorer country. He like gave people eye surgery, like a group of people eye surgery one time, which is notable, and it's that's a good thing. But for the love of God, man, like this is too many things to come out at one time. um and you should be old enough to know that you shouldn't be doing these things. Like it just either he's too insulated or something's wrong with him.
Grow up.
Yeah, just grow up, man. It's not cool. And you're not doing anybody any favors, especially yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But I most definitely, because of things I've heard in the past and accusations in the past, I don't doubt her claims um, to be mostly accurate. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember why I said that was because the new CEO,
Mm-hmm.
she's a woman, Gaude Paez. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to say her name. Um, she says that the allegations, she responded to Kotaku because they wanted
Mm-hmm.
to see if they had a reply for them with the allegations, and she replied saying that the claims were fabricated with the sole purpose of sparking headlines. And it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Like I get it, you're the CEO, your job is to protect the company.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it, it's insane to me that there's just been this many women who've come out
Yeah.
and said otherwise. And I
Yeah.
think this could be applied to many things
Mm-hmm.
like the files,
Yeah. Exactly.
or the rape allegations
Mm-hmm.
against our president, and
Exactly.
it's
Where
just
there's
like
smoke, there is fire.
and it and it's just like, yeah, I get it. They could be saying it to gain money, but then it's just like all these women came
Yeah.
together and had this idea
it
to
it's
like
such a cop out, and it's such an attempt at character assassination that it just rubs me the wrong way, right? Like
Mhm.
obviously saying something like this on the internet, because of the way the internet is, they'll a lot of people will jump on the idea like, yeah, she's just a gold digger, or she's just doing this for clout. But you
Mhm.
take into account past incidents that this is not the first time, whether it be women or men, right? This is not the first time people have complained about Mr. Beast. I think one is worth investigation. Two is like, okay, bro, like that's one too many, right? And then three,
Mhm.
it's like, okay, all right, there's something up here. And
There's a pattern.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
He's
pattern. Too many people are coming forward, and yeah, it's just I think I hate that this idea of like, you know that this claim of clout chasing is just it's so dismissive, and it's such a character assassination attempt that it makes me believe the accusations even more, you know.
Mhm. It only hurts, and it sucks that there are people who, you know, use that to their advantage and
Mm-hmm.
have lied. But it's just like, those claims and the people who are doing the lying, it only hurts the people who actually did get hurt. So
Mm-hmm.
I just wish people had better morals and would
We're
would see
asking
the
too
bigger
much.
picture. Like I'm
Yeah.
saying, we need to keep looking at the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
Let's all step back and try and see that there's also another human that gets affected by your actions. But
Just a little bit of sympathy, folks. Just a little bit. A little bit of
yeah,
empathy goes a long way.
mhm. That's what
Oh my
happened
goodness.
in the
Yep.
influencer space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Um,
What do you wanna tackle next?
um, do you want to go into yours or do you want to go into this
Let's
one?
see.
Because this one is kind of like
Yeah, it's a long
it,
one. It
it, it,
branches.
it digs into like so many other holes.
Yeah. Well, let's go with the Frieren one next, because that could be pretty quick, and then we
Okay.
can go into Pragmata, because there's a lot to be said there. Um,
Hmm.
recently I have been coming around across articles where a lot of far right extremist groups are co-opting Frieren, um, which really sucks. Because I don't need such a good anime to be co-opted by the worst kind of people.
What
Um,
does that mean, co-opt?
Co-opted means that they are kind of taking ownership of a franchise as relatable to their ideals.
Oh, interesting.
Specifically, there were users on platforms like 4chan who have latched onto the world building elements of Frieren, and they're starting to refer to Frieren as based Frieren, which is they believe they believe that Frieren is unapologetically racist towards demons, and they see her refusal to negotiate with demons as a model for like their real world, um, real world, uh, xenophobic and um, dang it, prejudice ideologies. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, yeah. So a lot of these ideologists that a lot of these white supremacists and far right extremists have are like biological determinism. Do you know what that is?
Uh, Kinda.
It's this idea that a racial group has inherent traits that are harmful to society, right?
Oh, okay,
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. How like some people think things like uh, uh, you know Black Americans are inherently violent, or um, Latin Americans are um, inherently lazy, or Jewish Americans are inherently what do they think are inherently greedy or something to that degree. Regardless, it's just a number of different traits that they believe are harmful to society as a whole, and it's like something specific to whatever race or ethnic group that you belong to. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so there's been a number of fan art pieces out there where, and I say fan art, quote unquote, because it's really just AI slop, right? But what they'll do is that they'll put Frieren in the group in ICE agent uniforms, or
That's gross.
yeah,
That's
yeah, it's fucking
disgusting.
gross, man. And it's opened up a larger conversation towards uh, what are the themes of Frieren, and is the world of Frieren, does the world of Frieren lend towards these type of discussions? So
Mm.
specifically, like the people who are on the other side of this view Frieren as being like a anti-fascist story, where like you have Frieren fighting the demons, and the demons are represent, or they represent like an elite class who view anybody less powerful them as livestock, right? Whereas the other conversation that's happening is that uh, there is a homogeny within Frieren that makes it like fodder for extremist groups, right? And by that I mean like, you know, even though Frieren has a number of different species within the anime, right? You have demons, you have dwarves, you have elves, and you have humans, right?
Mhm.
All of them look European.
Mhm.
Whenever I think about the anime, I can't think of a single one that looks like they're a person of color at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, because of that, it lends towards extremists co opting it because to them, in their eyes, it's like the ideal society. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And so, but Freeren's not one of the first ones to have this issue, right? Like other properties like Lord of the Rings had this issue too, where it's like all the main characters are all white, right? Whereas you have the
Mhm.
orcs who looked, you know, who were darker skinned than any of the other, you know, main protagonists, you know, so
Mm.
it lends, you know, it sometimes these worlds lend to, or they play into these extremist ideologies because, you know, unfortunately Frieren, the look of Frieren is based on, you know, medieval European aesthetic. And
Yeah.
so yeah, almost every character within that anime, like I'm seriously trying to think if there is characters that are darker and nobody's coming to mind.
Let me look, because it's not coming to mind for me, but it
I may have
is.
missed something, in all honesty. But yeah, but that's also like a conversation that's had in the anime community overall, right? Like um uh a lot of anime don't have variations.
Mhm.
Just like recently, oh dude, recently I ran across this video where, dang it, I'm not gonna remember the name of well, the antagonist from Gacha Guta, I believe his name is Jabber, the guy with the
Yeah.
dreadlocks.
Mhm.
Yeah, so recently a cosplayer, um
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. So, here's the interesting
Mhm.
I did watch a video that, um, helped enlighten me
Mhm.
because and it obviously I knew why it's wrong
Yeah.
to have a white person portray a black character.
Yeah. And
Um,
black hairstyles.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I understand why as a costume because at
Mhm.
the end of the day it's a cosplay.
For sure.
And that's why it's deemed wrong
Mhm.
because I had the application of how they say it's cultural appropriation to wear dreadlocks and
Yeah. Yeah.
other cultures fashions and this and that.
Mhm.
But then Asian people kind of clap back and they're like, cuz I think it's in the basketball sphere
Mhm.
where this black basketball player was like to an Asian basketball player like criticizing their use of dreadlocks and stuff like that, right? Or
Oh.
braids or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the Asian basketball player clapped back and was like, "Okay, well, whenever you get the chance to remove the Asian characters on your arm, that's
Mm-hmm.
tattooed on your arm,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and do that, and I'll remove the locks from my hair. And it's just like, I to me, and plenty of Black and African folk have said, "Hey, yes, you can wear our your hair the way we wear our hair because
Mm-hmm.
we see that as you appreciating like the the art that is that hairstyle, you know?
Yeah. Well,
If you're gonna
go
use
ahead.
it in a way that's wrong, like
Mm-hmm.
in a costume,
Yeah.
that's questionable, you know?
Right. Right.
Um, it's and you can go with what you were gonna say because it's it's a complicated issue.
Yeah. It just depends on who wears what and
How
why. Yeah,
and
and
when?
how. Yeah,
Yes.
and why? Because
How,
it's
why,
like,
and when? Yes.
yeah, because if you have let's say you have a white cosplayer who wears dreads, kind of like this cosplayer that did um Yabber,
Jab.
Jabber.
Mhm.
Um
Mhm.
and it's like, okay, like whenever Gachio Gutha was created and this character was created, you can tell that Urana was using as inspiration a lot of black culture, and for the most part, she's being very respectful in how she uses it, right?
Mhm.
And but you have a cosplayer who then wears it, and this is the person who wears it is a professional cosplayer, so anything that they create is to be monetized, right? And to
Mm.
have a American or a European American, we'll call him a European American just to narrow it down, right? To have a European American cosplay this hairstyle that essentially was used against the black community for so many generations, and to now
Mm.
be using it as,
A
you know
costume.
or not even just a costume, but to monetize it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's being monetized through attention and clout, right? And it
Mhm.
could be very well, I don't doubt that the cosplayer doesn't love the franchise and likes the character, but use your brain,
Mhm.
it's like, understand history, understand that, for the longest of time, the black community, even to this day, is discriminated against their hairstyles. And now you're
Mm.
using the
Mhm.
hairstyle as a way to make money. And it's just like, come on, like that's no bueno. Now, whenever
Yeah.
it comes between uh, different minority groups utilizing each other's cultures, we've been interchanging cultures for God knows how long, right? Like, the first thing that comes to mind is K-pop and black culture. I mean, for the love of
Mm.
God, it's it's just, you wouldn't have K-pop without without black
Yeah.
culture,
I mean,
right?
you wouldn't have so many things
So
art
many
related
things, yeah.
because of Black culture
Oh,
alone.
exactly, exactly.
Not
So,
just in the music space. Yeah.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, there's nothing wrong with cultural cross pollination as long as you're being respectful about it. Um, but you also have to, come toward, or if you're going to use something as inspiration, you also gotta, you can't have a surface level understanding of what you're using as inspiration, right? Otherwise it
Mm.
looks empty, right? You have to
Mhm.
understand that, you know hey, if I cosplay this thing, or if I take from this culture, I better be taking it knowing the history of it, knowing what I'm
Mm.
doing, and not doing it just because it's cool, or just because,
Yeah.
I want, attention, or I want clout for something like this, right? Like, it has to be um I don't know the best way to put it, other than, you gotta be woke about this, right? You gotta be aware of the history. You gotta be
I mean,
aware of
that's
the
the whole thing.
significance.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
people could stand to be woke and
Yeah.
stop
We
looking at
need
that
we
word
need
as
more.
such a
I
poisonous thing.
Yeah, I still use the word because fuck. fuck the people that poisoned it.
Mhm.
Like, I'm gonna use it in its original intent, right? You gotta stay
Mhm.
woke, right? You gotta be aware. You gotta be aware of the culture that it came from. You gotta understand the history, and you gotta be respectful of it. And
Show
if you
respect.
can't do it,
That's the
yeah,
big thing. Yeah.
yeah. If you can't do that, then what the hell?
Just don't do it. I think
Mm-hmm.
so. Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm glad that you reminded me of that big thing of why this is wrong in the
Mm,
cosplay sense,
mm-hmm.
because, yeah, a lot of black cosplayers are put down for them just being black
Oh
and for
yeah,
them
yeah.
using their natural hair in their
Mm-hmm.
cosplays. And
Mm-hmm.
this, and that's why it's wrong to have it in this instance because, like, so many black cosplayers are put down for that,
Oh
and then
yeah.
this white cosplayer comes out and,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah,
not
for
right.
sure.
I like I said, people, black people have come out and said, "Hey, yes, you can wear locks, you can do this, you can if you're doing it in appreciation of our culture,
Mm-hmm.
yes, you can do it. But you also have to do it in a respectful way too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, not
And that's across any culture, right?
mhm.
Like,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
the same thing with using Asian characters. For me,
exactly.
like if you're gonna use it in tattoo work or,
Mm-hmm.
like especially in Japanese aesthetic,
Oh yeah.
that's always gonna be a popular thing. You still have to do it like respectfully.
Oh, for sure.
Like, not as a treating it
It's just
like a
it's not supposed to
costume.
be just in this
Don't,
aesthetic,
y-
you know?
yeah, don't treat it as a costume and
Mm-hmm.
definitely don't treat it like a how do I explain this? Kind of like how people treat designer items,
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I got this because it's Gucci," or whatever,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
Um, treat it because yes, you can treat it like because you thought it was cool, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it's you have to also show respect in yeah, I thought it was cool, but I also understand what it means
Yeah.
and that resonates with me, that sort of thing.
Like, it reminds me, there is this content creator that I follow. I believe she's on Instagram. And she's Chinese, and she's always trying to translate Chinese lettering that people get tattooed on them. And a lot of the
Uh,
times it's like, a lot of the times she's like, oh no, this is gibberish. Or she'll say
it's not
like,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
the translation's usually off. Or it's like the translation of a menu or a food item or something like that. And
So
it's the
funny.
funniest fucking thing ever, but it's the perfect way to point out how people use things as more of an aesthetic as opposed to understanding why they why they get a tattoo of certain of certain letters in kanji. Like, come on, man. Jesus Christ. But yeah, yeah, I thought that was interesting, how Frieren is being co-opted that way. And I mean, you can't really stop people from reading into art, right? Like, people are always going to take, something away from a piece of art that's going to be different and unique to the individual. I just Yeah, I just hate that there's a lot of these extremist groups co-opt things in the most media illiterate way.
Mhm.
And I think this is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I did not know
Mhm.
that that was happening, but well, it I can see why they do it
Mhm.
and why they're doing it with Frieren, but yeah, like you said, they're no. That's
Like,
not what you're supposed
stop.
That's not what
Get
that's
help.
that means at all. But okay, whatever makes you happy, buddy.
Right.
Ugh.
Oh man. But I guess that'll lead us to the next topic because it kind of involves the same kind of people.
It's an interesting topic.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting how it grew,
Ah,
especially in
dude.
my brain,
Yep.
from reading it initially.
Mm-hmm.
So we've all seen the game Pragmata.
Mm-hmm.
I have only seen like a few clips, like very minor clips, but
Same.
mainly I've seen like maybe the title or the main what's visual of
Yeah.
the guy carrying the little girl
Right.
on his back, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the main visual for the game.
Yeah.
So we're all familiar but with it. But I read this article on Kotaku where this the author was kind of introduced to the idea that Pragmata is maybe a pedo baiting game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I read it very loosely because I read them at work,
Yeah.
so I can't really read um so intensely into it
Right. Right.
at work. And it's a very extensive article, and that's why I linked to it in case you wanted to read it because
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy. But I read through it a little bit, and it's basically he was come he came across the question that, hey, do you think that Diana, the child NPC that you
Mm-hmm.
help in the game, is pedobait? And uh, that's kind of crazy that
So yeah.
came out of it.
So I've heard a couple of theories behind this game. It
Okay.
feels like I've been introduced to this game through osmosis, just like anything else, because it's become part of the culture wars
Mm,
online. Um, one part of the culture war is coming down on the heads of weird gamers who get upset about censorship of the game.
mm.
Um, and the censorship being that they can't get upskirt views of the child robot. Um,
That's the clip that I saw, and that
yeah.
was the comment I made here
Mm-hmm.
that I came across. Yeah, like you were saying, I came
Yeah.
across this guy trying to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, that's what Mark
the
saw
the de-
too.
yeah, the developers had made it so that it was virtually impossible to do it, and the guy was getting frustrated. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember watching it, and it wasn't the actual clip of him trying to do it, from the
Yeah.
actual creator. It was someone who clipped it, calling him out for his weird behavior.
Well,
But it's just so
unfortunately,
weird.
yeah, unfortunately, it
Hmm.
goes beyond that one user, right? So,
Really.
oh yeah, because we're about to get into the Reddit of all of this. So, there was a subreddit dedicated to Pragmata that had to get shut down because there was too much fan art of Diana in not the best ways. Um,
No,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
weird.
super weird,
Really?
man. Uh huh. It got shut down.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, to get a subreddit shut down on Reddit is hard to do. So you can only imagine what was on this on this forum.
That's
Um,
really
and
gross.
and it pretty much all centered around the little android child. Um, so let's see what can I say about this? It the
That kind of
amount.
goes into the thing that I was going
Mm-hmm.
into with the statues, but go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, it's just you have this section of the internet who are obviously uh, sick in the head. You know, they're
Mm,
pedos, um, and they gravitated to this game and in a fashion that anybody would assume would happen on the internet, right? The issue is, but that's just one part of it, right? So you have the pedal bait side of it, which I don't know if the game was created as pedal bait, right? This is a Capcom game. Um, this is the first time I've seen Capcom kind of go into like this arena. Well, it's not the first time because you also have Resident Evil, and there's always um, those missions where you're helping somebody younger than you. So I don't know if it's too far left field coming from the company. But the other side of the coin is that people are claiming that this game was developed as a way to spark maternal and paternal feelings, um,
Mm-hmm.
as kind of a way to increase birth rates. Um, increase birth rate rates and increase
That's the very right wing side that I
yeah,
was writing about because I was
yeah.
just like, question mark?
Yeah.
What is the right what is the what is the
Yeah,
right
so
side propaganda
so
that's
it
starting from this
essentially
game?
essentially the other half of it that I've been running across is that conservatives in the right wing are or the influencers are claiming that the paternal themes are deprogramming left wing men and women to embrace parenthood, right? And then the other branch of that conversation is that maybe Capcom created this as a way to kind of promote birth rates in Japan, even though this isn't a specific Japan release, right? But who the hell knows? I just thought of it as like whenever I first saw the game, I was like, oh, this is a mech game because it kind of reminded me of Anthem, where you're getting into a mech suit and you're, um, uh, uh, carrying out quests or objectives. I don't quite.
Mhm.
I've never played the game myself, right? I've only seen clips here and there, and most of the clips that I'm seeing are of this Diana android who's supposed to be like an AI android companion for the main character. Um, so I don't know how she fits into the game. All I've been seeing is everything that surrounds her, unfortunately. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it feels as if conservatives are kind of latching on to this idea that it aligns with their idea of traditional family values.
That's
Although,
interesting.
yeah, although I would make the argument that liberal ideologies or left wing ideologies have more of a diverse view of family values, but family values nonetheless. Um, but yeah, it's kind of like what you point out in your notes, right? Like this isn't the first time where um internet pedos and incels have latched on to child characters. So
Yeah. Other
yeah.
examples being Clementine from The Walking Dead,
Mm-hmm.
like that, which apparently there was a guy who killed like an 18-year-old, a guy who clearly needed help.
Ooh wee.
He killed his entire family because
Jesus.
I think his brother was playing the game
Mm-hmm.
and was making all these terrible choices that were affecting Clementine, and he killed his family for it. And it's
Oh my
just like,
god.
bro, you need to, like, you
Dude.
guys need help.
Yeah,
Like,
somebody and
you can't be doing that.
yeah, you
And
need professional help
you need
and
help. You need,
medication.
yes. And, dear God. And then Ellie from The Last of Us, that's
Yeah.
happened to them.
Dude, that even extended to the TV series, where people were
Mm,
upset because the Ellie of the TV series wasn't as quote unquote beautiful as the
didn't
video
look
game
like
Ellie.
Ellie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, bro, like this is supposed to be a child,
First of
man.
all, that's like, first of all, she's like 14.
Yeah, she's
Calm the
14, man.
fuck down.
Stop trying to find attractive or 14-year
Ew.
olds attractive. That is so
Stop it.
fucking weird.
Get some help.
Mm-hmm. Golly, man. So yeah,
Um,
this is
and
not the first time.
yeah, and I hate too that these people will kind of use, even if it okay, even if you're not like a pedophile and you're trying
Mm-hmm.
to upskirt whoever or whatever.
Right.
And like I'll say with these statues in here in a bit, that
Mm-hmm.
people will use this um the quote, it's not they're not real.
Oh
So
God.
that's why they can do it. Is
Ugh.
disturbing. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and talk about these statues, for
Mm-hmm.
example.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just as a little history lesson to everybody in case you didn't know. There are a few statues that exist that have been groped, for lack of a better term, because that's what is happening
Mm-hmm.
in inappropriate spots of the statues. And it kind of goes into this idea of, should we really be doing this? So
Mm.
there's this statue, Molly Malone in Dublin. I'm pretty sure everyone's seen clips of her, the statue,
Mm-hmm.
anyways, and people like groping her chest area because the statue. I looked into the history of the statue and what it represents. It's this. Apparently, she is a. I don't know if she is a sex worker, but she is a worker who peddles like fish
Mm-hmm.
in a song, a folklore in the culture.
Yeah.
Um, so they made a statue of her. I need to read a bit more of what the statue is because obviously these statues exist with artistic intent, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which is what I'm going to argue as well. Um, the statue is made of bronze, so when humans touch bronze, over time, the oils that are on our hands interact with the bronze
Mm-hmm.
and it changes. Basically, it polishes the spots where where you touch it. So over time, the color of certain spots of bronze statues will change based off of how often it interacts with that oil and stuff like that. So you
Yeah.
can see when you look up pictures of this Molly Malone that her chest area is always groped
Mm-hmm.
um, by passerbys,
Yeah.
and you'll see videos of people doing it, posing with this statue and groping her chest area and smiling and stuff like that. Oh, because it's a joke. Huh? Oh, it's funny. Oh, because it's not real.
Mm-hmm.
But I will argue, and like I put here, I'm not being, I don't want to be the fun police here, like shut down your fun. But I'm going to question it. Why is that your idea of fun? Like,
Yeah.
why? Like, okay, yeah, it's a statue,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a statue, first of all, with artistic intent. The intent wasn't for it to be gropable, it was to show this idea, right?
Yeah.
One, so you're attacking the artist's intent by groping this figure. And
Mm-hmm.
then two, it's really questioning your idea of fun. Why is groping? Why
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
is that okay? Like why is that funny? Like
Well, it I don't think you're being the fun police. In all honesty, it even disturbs me that grown adults are essentially committing teenage behavior, right? And they're
mhm,
justifying it, right?
mhm,
So like these actions that are being or these things that are being done to these statues, right? Like whether it's groping breasts or it's groping a crotch, like that's something that you would expect from like a teenage boy who's like kind of trying to push boundaries by being edgy and goofy and kind of, exploring their sexual desires. And, the majority of the time they do it because they're sexually immature, right? They don't know any better, right?
mhm,
They're acting on impulse, right? But for grown adults to do it
mm,
and then justify it by saying, "Bro, we're just having a little bit of fun." It's weird. It's weird.
Why is that
There's
fun?
yeah,
What's
there's a weird like I can understand the feeling of wanting to do something um uncouth, right? For the sake of rebellion, or for the sake of wanting to make people gasp or wanting to make people giggle. We all, we all have done things for a laugh or two. But,
mm,
whenever it gets to the realm of, oh yeah, I'm going to do this weird, and let's call it what it is, right? This weird sexual act
mhm. Yeah.
to to this inanimate object. There's kind of there's an issue, or there's a lack of maturity there that has become more and more prominent, um that I'm realizing, or not that I'm realizing, kind of like what I've always known, right? Being a guy, this is, this is part of my everyday life, right? It's not not anything new to me, right? Because I get
Mhm.
confronted with it constantly. But it is a lack of, if we boil it down, right, it's a lack of maturity. um
Mm.
One of the one thing, I was reminded of a incident that I'm recently being exposed to, right, as a guy, right?
Mm.
um Invincible just got through having its season finale, right? And the episode before the finale episode, um Invincible is having this big battle with the Viltrumites. We've been introduced to a number of Viltrumites in the show already, and one of the Viltrumites is a woman by the name of Anissa, right? And in this final episode, Mark, who's the main protagonist in the show, he makes this boisterous claim that he was the one that killed one of the strongest Viltrumites by the name of Conquest, right? And so he brags about it as he's about to attack the head Viltrumite, or the ruler of the Viltrumites, by the name of Thrag. Um, so he says that I'm the one who killed Conquest, and all the other Viltrumites kind of look at him shocked, right? Because Conquest must have been a hard fight for him. And Anissa ends up looking at him as well. Well, anybody who's ever read the comic books knows that the Anissa character does, if we're gonna be frank, right? Anissa grapes. I'm gonna use the word grapes as I guess, to not trigger YouTube or Twitch for that matter. But Anissa grapes Mark in the comics, because she deems Mark worthy enough to breed with her, and she wants a child from him. So she literally grapes him in the comic. And in the comic, they play it as serious as it's supposed to be, right? It's not something that
Mhm.
Mark wants. She forces it out. She forces it on him, and then when she's done, she tells him she's gonna do it over and over again until she becomes pregnant, and this like destroys Mark, right? Like he goes through some serious PTSD because of it, because it's not consensual, right?
Yeah.
Well, knowing the context, um, comic book readers started claiming that the look that Anissa gives him in the story is foreshadowing to what she's gonna want to do to him later, right? And it spreads like wildfire, right? You have
Mm.
every guy, you have every horny guy out there now talking about how, well, if they were Mark, it would be consensual, like the meme was, what would you do if Anissa gave you this look? And the response would be like Shaq hiding behind a stop sign, the pole of a stop sign, which means they're not hiding at all. um
Yeah.
and so they turned it into a gigantic joke, even though, the theme and the subject of male grape is very real and very
Mm-hmm.
serious, but
Yeah.
it highlights how quickly people make it into a joke, how people turn it into um, a personal fetish, as opposed to having a little bit more media literacy and a little bit more understanding of the context before making those kinds of comments. And it's just kind of like I think that it perfectly highlights the the weird immaturity that we've come to just kind of accept from um A, right, like even taking into account um the Molly statue, right, the Molly Malone of Dublin, right. The reason all that discoloration is around her chest is because more than likely men started the trend, right? Like I don't see women starting that trend. And then for it to be, um what was the other statue that you made an example of?
Okay, yeah. I can. Do you want me to briefly
Yeah,
mention the
yeah.
story, or just briefly mention and then I'll go into it
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
can finish your
exactly.
idea?
Uh-huh.
Okay, Victor Noir.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to continue?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so this kind of goes into like the um artist's intent
Mm-hmm.
behind like and how that gets twisted by people's lack of understanding and kind of just empathy, sympathy, all that around. So there's this statue of a Victor Noir in Paris, France, I believe. He
Mm-hmm.
was a man who was shot and killed Bonaparte's by Prince Bonaparte, who is the cousin of the French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte. For anyone who doesn't know
Oh,
history,
well then.
and he was shot by the prince because of his opposition to that whole regime at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so they erected this statue of Victor Noir, and if you'll look him up, he is depicted in his moment of when he died. So he's lying on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they've had to. So see, I don't know if they've erected a fence around Molly Malone. And you can say this is all questionable if they
Mm-hmm.
haven't, because they've erected a statue for Victor Noir, the male statue,
Yeah.
because of
Oh,
the amount of groping that has been happening to this statue.
that is odd because the pictures that I've seen of Molly didn't have any kind of perimeter around her.
Yeah, so weird, right? But
Mm-hmm.
anyways, so we'll have sympathy for a male statue, but not a female statue.
Right? Funny
Interesting.
that, right?
But I think maybe because I need to do a bit more research. I think the statue is in a cemetery, and women,
Mm-hmm.
it is women who will break into the cemetery and go grope this male
What
statue.
the hell?
So the initial intent of the artist was to depict Victor Noir's dying moment against
Mm-hmm.
this imperial regime, right? Something, uh, an erection of the defiance against that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
A very noble um artistic depiction, I think. Well,
Mm-hmm.
people have twisted it. They
Of course they have.
they've taken it. So it is custom in France for women to go grope this statue
Mm-hmm.
in his nether region
Yeah.
and kiss him on the lips, because he's become a symbol of fertility.
How?
I don't know, but because they depicted a male statue with with a bulge because that's how
Because
that's
that's
kind
what
of how
people's minds
the
automatically
male
go to.
anatomy. Yes, that is how the male anatomy works. There will
Mm-hmm.
be
Mm-hmm.
more stuff going on down there.
For sure. For sure.
But for some reason, women ran with it and was like, "Oh, if we do this,
Jesus.
if we for a joke or whatever, I don't
Uh-huh.
know. You know how people make up these sort of like t tall tales, like, oh, if
Yeah.
you go do this, you'll get good luck. But
Right.
it's like it. First of all, again, it spits in the face of the artistic intent,
Right.
and two, it's like, why is this normalized? Like, why is this your idea of fun?
You know
Why is this okay?
the thing is it's like fertility statues have been around since humans have existed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're in Hindu religions, they're in Native American tribes, they are in. I mean, hell, Japan has a fertility festival where it's just penises everywhere, right?
They have a penis museum.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things like fertility rituals and looking to find good luck in the sack is not new to humanity. Um, but if that's what you want, create it. You know what I mean? Like make it
Mm-hmm.
with the intent of that. Why do you have to? I hate to say this word, but why do you have to pervert an artist's intention for the sake of just because you noticed there was a bulge on a statue, or just because you
Luck or
noticed there
clout,
was, yeah, right.
which
Just,
goes back to the other topic we talked about with
mm-hmm.
white people cosplaying black characters. It's all
Yes,
about the intent. It's all
yeah.
about the respect, and this is a lack of that.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a lack of that. It's a I don't know. I don't even know what to categorize it as anymore. Whether or not it's a carelessness, a lack of literacy, a immaturity, or maybe it's just all the above. You
I
know,
think so.
like maybe we've created a society that has stigmatized sexuality to the point where people feel as if they can't artistically express themselves in a fertility, statue or fertility festival, but instead now they have to push their repressed emotions onto
Mm-hmm.
helpless statues, helpless video game avatars, or helpless comic book characters. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
it's like I don't know. Like you know me, right? Like I've always claimed, or I've always expressed that I hate society's views towards sexuality and the expression of, right? Because people are
Mm.
so needlessly Puritan, whenever that hasn't been the case in human society for ever, right? Humans have always been fascinated by sexuality, or the reproductive process, the act of giving birth, or having a child, or making a child, right? Like it speaks to the core of what makes us human, as what makes us living organisms, right? But yet for some reason we suppress it, or we romanticize it, or we make it something um emotionally perverted, right? And it's just like we don't have to do that. We could just embrace it. We could just be mature and okay with it. But instead
Mhm.
people, you know people people would much rather, stick to Puritan beliefs, or some sort of skewed idea of the simple act of making somebody giggle. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, why are we going to these lengths?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's completely It's completely ass backwards. We should really have a healthier relationship um, with things like this, and we honestly don't. And I think it's now expressing itself, or I say now, right? It's kind of been expressing itself like this for hundreds of years at this point. But
Mm-hmm.
it's expressing itself in a very unhealthy way. Um, and yeah, and it leads us to stupid things like this. Oh man. But yeah, yeah. It's disappointing. It's most
It is.
definitely disappointing. Like
Yeah.
the other thing that I wanted to bring up about the um about pragmata um uh, in relation to the Diana avatar is that the newest controversy that I've been seeing is that people have become upset because they learned that the voice actor for Diana is a British black actress, and
Okay.
certain types of people are losing their damn minds.
Hmm.
I've been seeing on social media a couple of people that have been claiming that Diana have been or they have Netflixed Diana. You know, the meme of people believing that Netflix will include diversity into their properties even if it doesn't call for it. Which
Hmm.
I think in itself is also a very stupid position to carry. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, they're complaining that it's a British black actress, but they never have any smoke for the Japanese voice actress.
Hmm.
And you know they're constantly going on that the voice actress needs to match the character of Diana, which of course is going to be a blonde hair, blue eyed um, representation. So yeah, yeah, there seems to be a lot of stupidness surrounding this character, and I don't know why people are choosing this character to latch onto. It's just another stupid culture war that people are drumming up for no good reason.
Ugh. And I
Yeah.
still don't even know what the game or the
Yeah,
gameplay
I literally
is
don't
about.
know what the game is about.
I know more about the drama of the game than the actual game itself.
It's true, man. I
That's so
literally have
weird.
no idea what the gameplay is like. I have no idea what the story of the game is supposed to be. I have no idea of like what the objectives of the game are. Like a part of me thinks that this is supposed to be like a Death Stranding kind of a game, but I honestly
Yeah.
have no idea because nobody's talking about the game itself. They're only talking about the perceived culture war behind it. So weird, man.
Weird. Which, yeah, funny that you bring up Death Stranding because I was
Mhm.
like, why didn't anyone say that Death Stranding was um a game that's trying to break or cause more childbirths, more
Mhm.
births, like how you were saying with the right wing
Yeah.
propaganda.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
But then you said traditional family values, and I was like, oh yeah, the main character is very much a man, so
Yeah. Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
very much man-like traditionally to raise a baby, is it? So
Right.
that's why no one
Exactly.
that's why no one talked about it. But then why? So then why is this one being talked about? Because isn't the main the character that you play as aren't they male perceiving or
Well,
male presenting?
I think it's because it's like the people whenever you have online the people who are reacting to the game, the story of the game, right? Where they, like I've seen videos of of women influencers playing the game and saying how cute Diana is and how cute the relationship between the protagonist and Diana is. Um, and so I think that conservative influencers see that, and they need it's almost like they need to make a cultural war out of everything, right? Like they need
Mm.
to be like, oh, I think the thing that I saw is like, oh man, Pragmata is making leftist women ovulate, you know, and it's just like, bro, like you know you're an incel if like your first thought is if a woman says something is cute, they're ovulating. Like you know you've never touched a
So
woman in your entire life.
disgusting. It's
The
really
only
gross.
yeah, the only woman that's ever shown affection to you is your mother. And it's like I need you to go have a conversation with a regular woman, bro, because this is not it. You know what I mean? And
So weird.
I hate it so much.
This whole topic has given me like a headache because
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't understand. And I was going through the comments of the article and a lot of people were like, why can't people just enjoy a game as a
No.
game? Why does it
No.
have to, spur these weird topics and tangents and stuff like that? And
Mhm.
like, yeah, honestly, I wish. And then some people were just like, oh, this problem doesn't exist. Like the people who are pointing out that
Mhm.
um people s- people are pointing out that this character could be sexualized are the people who are starting that problem. Like
Yeah.
they're saying that the people who pointed out the problem are the people
Are
who
the problem
are making the
themselves?
problem. Yeah, like
Well, I
and
mean,
I uh,
yeah.
and I was just like, well, yeah, that is a very tinfoily hat thing to say that could
Mhm.
happen, but then it's just like if I hadn't seen a guy trying to upskirt the character
Yeah.
myself, I would
Yeah.
maybe believe you. Like,
Mhm. Or if a whole Reddit forum or subreddit wouldn't have
wasn't
had to
shut
be
down.
taken down, then yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
that's
you have a
crazy.
point there. But this
I
is
didn't know about that.
obviously an issue.
Yeah, that exists, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just think that in my honest opinion, I think that in today's political climate, conservatives don't have a lot of policies to fight on, right? And they find that the culture wars are an easy way to make people click on your tweet or your thread or your truth post, right? Like if you can anger people, then you can get eyes on you, and if you can get eyes on you, you can monetize whatever attention that you're getting. And I think that the culture wars are a quick ticket way to grift and to influence people who are extremely not knowledgeable of social conditions outside of their immediate community, right? So,
Mm.
of course, people are gonna lean on this, right? Of course, people are gonna be like, "Yeah, this is family values, and this is deprogramming all the leftoids out there and all the femoids and all this crap." And it's just like, bro, like go for the love of God, like go touch grass, go talk to a woman, make a friend, get into a relationship. I mean, like it I that's the part that like Jesus Christ. It's like an individual has never been in a serious relationship if they like their first thought of a woman saying something is cute is like, oh, she's obviously PMSing, or she's
That's so weird.
obviously she's obviously ovulating. Like Jesus Christ, man! Like, have you
Or you
never
definitely
been?
want to have a baby now.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Like,
no,
have
that's
have
not
you
how that
never
works.
been around a woman? Like, do you not pay attention to? Like, it's so weird. Like, a lot of them assume that the reason why women don't want to have families is because of some sort of nihilism, right? But the reality of it is that a lot of women don't want to have families because either a economically it's not viable, b the options out there is very scarce. I'm sorry, man, but you did. I don't know what's up with this new generation, but you guys have fucked yourselves in ways I can't even start to understand. And ultimately, having bodily autonomy has become a real political issue in our nation, and a woman not feeling safe to be pregnant will cause them to not want to start a family. How could you want
Mhm.
to start a family if you don't feel safe enough to have one, right? And so
Yeah.
it's just like, I don't know, man. Like it feels like I'm taking crazy pills.
Feels like you're talking about the frogs turning gay, right?
Exactly. It feels like
That's
I'm saying the frogs are turning gay and no one's believing me.
yep. Trust me, I know.
You and me have been deep in this conversation before. It's just, yes, man, it's crazy.
Mhm.
But what will it be fixed? Hopefully, like it always feels like we're on the dawn of a new age soon.
Mhm.
Pretty soon millennials are going to be taking more seats of power. Things are going to change. I think the older generations have had a death grip on our society for far too long, and hopefully soon, hopefully soon that shift in power is about to happen. But until then, ladies, weather it out if you can. And men, for the love of God, make friendships, please. Just go talk to a woman without the intent of wanting to sleep with her. It's not that hard, I swear. Uh just treat women like people, you know. At the end of the day, that's all you got to do.
Just treat them
treat
like a guy, like
Yeah,
pretty.
treat them like one of the guys. Treat them like they're people, man. Like at the end of the day, they're people like anybody else. You don't have to have some secret code in order to unlock conversations with them. It's not a goddamn video game. You just got to go in and talk. And, if you don't have enough confidence to do so, start off by talking to a relative. I don't know. Just put just for the love of God, just get out there. Oh man. But we are 26 minutes past the hour. Uh we can I guess we can leave it with this with our bit of sage advice to the general public. Do you have anything else you want to go over before we sign out?
No, I think we should have probably left it a happier note, but it is what it is, we're already this
Yeah.
far.
The world
Um,
is the way it is. We
but,
can't
I
change it.
yeah, I guess we can just, you know, look at our pieces,
Yep, yep,
before
yep.
we close.
Let's take a look what we got so far. Ooh, you got a lot far in the coloring process. That looks awesome, man. I
Thank
like
you.
it. I like it. I like it.
Um, I was intending to, print this out as
Mhm.
like a sticker for Mark,
Yeah, I want
so,
to do the same.
yeah, I
I
didn't
want to
wanna
print up
really
like a print or a poster.
Okay, sounds
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Of
didn't really
course.
wanna go too much into the detail, that's why,
Yeah.
if it's intended to be a sticker, but
I think I want to I'm going to keep working on mine cuz I think I got caught up in the reeds whenever I was doing the shading and the coloring. So I got to finish
Mhm.
up Oka Run Oka Run? Oka Run?
Okarun.
Okarun. Yeah.
Okarun.
I got to
Yes.
finish him and then I inked the hand, so now I just got to color it. And it'll be ready. It'll be ready,
Okay.
and we'll be. I guess I'll have uh well, I mean, maybe we can all meet up and hang out or something. Who knows? We'll figure something out in order to get the poster out to you.
Mhm. Okay, sounds good. But let me just wrap up the stream for us. Uh, thanks for joining us today. We're wrapping up this stream. You can find Esso at Esso Art Studio on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. He'll finish up this piece and go post it. He's already posted his initial speed paint, which looks great. Will you be posting the
The
rest of
complete,
the speed paint too?
definitely. Yeah,
Okay,
I'll be
then
posting it on Wednesday.
okay, yeah. So go follow him to watch out for that. Go check him out, please. You can check me out at Lily Lilac Draws on Instagram, Threads, Tumblr, and TikTok. I'm gonna be posting this one up as well sometime this week. If you'd like, go check out our coffee page. Any donations are kindly appreciated. Thanks for joining us today. I know some of the topics were kind of a Debbie Downer, but hopefully next
Hey, they
week we
were
get some
fun.
good ones, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see you next time, guys, and remember, stay creative.
Peace.
Bye bye.